Death is only absence when the past is left behind. The line says it best. For animals that live in the present, death is only absence. If the present is always here, then when form changes, it is simply not here. Nothing more. But memory intrudes. The past gets dragged forward, and suddenly death becomes something else entirely. It becomes weight. It becomes meaning. It becomes palpable. The bones of the elephant do not carry memory in themselves. They are mute. They are neutral. They are form returned to dust. What carries memory is the mind that looks upon the bones. It is the interpretation that makes them seem to whisper of what once was. Elephants touch the bones of their kind, and we project onto them grief, honor, ritual, or curiosity. But the act itself is neutral. The power of that narration line is that it reveals the choice point. If life is lived in the present, then what is gone is simply gone. Absence is not loss. Absence is not tragedy. It is just a shift of form. But if memory rules the mind, then absence is not allowed to be absence. It is turned into story. It is turned into continuity. It is turned into an echo that insists on being heard. This is the trick of death as we humans know it. It is not the change of form that frightens us. It is the insistence on remembering it. It is the insistence on replaying it. It is the insistence on memorializing it. It is the insistence on dragging it forward like a burden carried into every now. In truth, the present moment has no death. Nothing ends here. Nothing is lost here. What is here is whole. What is here is alive. What is here is eternal. The ego, however, keeps the bones. It points to them and says, "See, this was once alive. This was once proud. And now it is gone." The ego insists that what is absent still has power. It insists that what is not here must still define what is here. A Course in Miracles tells us the present is the closest approximation of eternity we can reach in this world. Why? Because it is free of memory, free of past, free of death. To live in the present is to see bones as bones, not as symbols of loss, not as reminders of tragedy, not as memorials to what was. For elephants, perhaps it is curiosity. For us, it is usually projection. The story of death comes not from the carcass, but from the clinging mind. What if absence was left to be absence? What if memory was not dragged forward to weigh it down? Then the sting of death would dissolve. Then loss would evaporate. Then grief would be revealed as a trick of thought, not a truth of being. When the present is chosen, death cannot hold meaning. It cannot be palpable. It cannot exist at all. It is only when the past is carried forward that absence becomes grief. It is only when memory rules the mind that bones become heavy. The truth is simple. Death is absence. The present remains. The eternal is untouched. And that is the power of that line. It whispers a secret most of the world refuses to hear. Death is nothing but the past intruding. Without memory, it has no meaning. To live in the present is to see that absence has no opposite. To live in the present is to remember eternity. To live in the present is to know that what is eternal cannot die. The bones are picked clean, but the present is whole. The bones tell no story, but the present sings of life. And in that song, death is undone, submitted for your approval, a species haunted not by death but by memory, a mind that mistakes absence for loss and shadows for substance. We call it mourning, we call it meaning, we call it love that lingers beyond the grave. But perhaps it's only the past, whispering through bones that were never meant to speak. For in a world where nothing truly ends, Only memory makes ghosts real. Erase the past and death disappears with it. You'll find what's left is not the end, but the eternal present. A place beyond absence, beyond sorrow, and far beyond the reach of the twilight zone.